Good morning, friends, and welcome back to Honeybee Farmstead. Today's video is going to be about calf sharing and why we calf share and all the benefits and all of the possible pitfalls of calf sharing and why we choose to calf share. So, I'm going out to milk. It's a little later than I normally would. I had to actually G myself up to do this one because it's been really tough since we got Sadie and started milking her. She's a lot bigger than my other cows and a little bit more stubborn. So we're going to go. I've got my cleaning bucket here and we're going to milk Sadie and we're going to talk about calf sharing and why we do it and why we think it's the best practice, but also the negatives to calf sharing, because there are positives and negatives to everything. So come along with us, friends, and we hope you enjoy this video. Everything is taking me so much longer at the moment. And I'm supposed to put this bale of straw in on the ground in there. I've got poop to collect. Good morning, Sadie. This fence here is here because the cows are smart and they get up in here and they run amok. Looks like the kids have made a mess in here as well. Hey, good morning. How you doing, sweet girl? Are you ready to be nice today? We're ready to do some milking. Okay. All right, Sade, ready to go, girlfriend? That's a girl. Good girl. It's closed, hey? Good girl. Lovely work. Good girl, Sade. Nice work, girlfriend. What a good start. I'm just gonna... Alright, step out. Step out. Come on, girl. Step out. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl, Sadie. Good girl. Lovely work, girl. Alright, so we're going to give you a clean first. Chair like that for an easy retreat. Hey? Now, I didn't bring the teats out today because every time I try and put them on, it's a nightmare. So I'm just going to hand milk until I get my dairy made. Good girl. I might be able to use the machine tomorrow after all. Now, I'm just going to chat with you guys while I milk. She's still getting used to talking and things in the stand, so hopefully this helps. But today I want to talk to you guys about calf sharing and why we calf share and why, if you have a cow, it might be an idea to calf share. There are many and varied reasons to calf share, but I'll give you our top reasons as to why we decided we wanted to calf share. The first one is freedom. If you calf share, you have more freedom to basically not be tied into that daily contract with the cow. So we all live a very busy life these days, and if you have calves on your cow, or a calf, We choose to have 2 because she's a large producing dairy animal. And well, she was born with a boy, and because of the deal we got into with Hunt and Gather, they wanted a heifer calf. So we had the dairyman graft on a heifer calf that they had already taken off their mum for dairy purposes, obviously. So little Miss Susie is not her birth calf. And a bull calf is really no use to anyone other than to use for meat. So we decided ethically we'd rather just keep the baby on her so she doesn't experience loss at the hands of humans. And good girl, stand up, please don't kick. And we'll just raise one of our future beef cows. So the number one thing for us is freedom. If we have a wedding to go to or an event, or our family are right into camping and holidaying and stuff, it means that we don't have to be here all the time. We don't have to be tied to that routine that you do with a cow, which is literally milking every single morning to keep their udder nice and not have them get things like mastitis and that, because that can ruin a cow's udder very, very quickly. So that brings me to the second point, keeping the cow's udder nice and free-flowing and supple with no mastitis, because mastitis, in case you don't know, is just like what humans can get, where you get blocked milk ducts and it starts to grow an infection in the udder. If that infection develops, you run the risk, and quite a high risk too, of having that quarter of the udder collapse, and then forevermore in her milking life she will not produce milk out of that quarter. So you lower your amounts of milk that you can get from that cow. So that is probably right alongside the first one as far as being tied to the farm in importance to us. So keeping their udders nice and free-flowing with no mastitis is very important to us. And that's because the calves will drink, especially a little bull calf, quite aggressively at all 4 quarters. And if she does happen to hold anything back, those calves will headbutt and carry on like you've seen in previous videos. And that loosens everything up and allows for her to let down. So it keeps their udder a lot nicer. Good girl. You're being lovely today, Sadie. I'm very proud of you. Good girl. Another reason is to raise your future dairy calf and or meat calf. It's another big reason is the ethics behind it. I believe ethically it's not right to strip a mother of her baby, animal, human, anything, unless that there's a medical reason or something. I don't like that they have babies in a dairy and they take the babies off their mums. I think that's not right, and I know it would traumatise a cow. It would traumatise any animal really, having their baby removed from them. It's hormonal mothering, and you mess with that and you cause trauma and you cause, I believe, anxiety in that animal. You would cause them to be stressed for no reason. You can quite comfortably, Sassy, leave him alone, leave her alone. Horses are harassing little Sadie, little Bessie. You're doing really well today, girl. I'm very proud of you. All right, so Another reason to calf share, in my opinion, is control. If we didn't have her babies locked in and were not able to sort of control her, then it makes the whole training process a lot harder. And you have more things to worry about, like udder health. I believe a happy cow will produce better for you and be a nicer behaved creature. So another part of the control is the fact that if she decides to hold up and not allow me to have milk, I can let her calves out, which is what I'm going to do shortly, and the act of feeding her calves will actually encourage her to let down the different layers of milk. Yes, cows can hold back layers. So I think I illustrated it with Deirdre once upon a time, that I could let her calves in to feed off her 4 times and she would let down 4 layers of milk. Like, she could help hold it back, which is really clever and ingenious. If they have that level of control, I just think, why don't you work with the animals? Now, pitfalls of calf sharing. Firstly would be, you obviously don't get as much milk as you would if you weren't calf sharing. Another thing is that sometimes the cow can just get stroppy and not want to have to do the calf sharing. And we did notice a bit of that with Sadie in the beginning. I believe that is because she didn't learn how to calf share the first time she had a calf. This is her second calving, I'm told, so we believe she's only 4. But because she didn't calf share the first time and she would have had her calf removed from her, I believe that's why she didn't settle as quick here and was almost a little bit hesitant and maybe even worried that we were going to take her calves. But now she's learning, if she lets down the milk, we let her calves out and she gets to spend the day with them. So it's part of the process and she just gets it done. For us, it makes life a lot easier, that's for sure. You're doing really well today, Sade. I'm very proud of you. Good girl. Holy moly, it's hard work hand milking a cow of this volume. We're told by the dairyman that she's a 20 litre plus a day cow. Another thing as well when it comes to calf sharing is once you're encouraging more milk production out of that animal, but that can also be a pitfall too. The more you take out, the more you've got to put in. So the more that we take from her, the more feed we have to give. We have to put a lot more into her so that she's able to, feed her babies as well as provide us with milk. Good girl, you're doing a great job, Sade. Now today I tried something new and I didn't pour all of her food in at once because I'm encouraging her, 1, to slow down with her eating, and 2, if she is holding back, I can give her that second lot of food and encourage that relaxed sort of stick around for a bit and eat some more scenario. You're doing great, Sade. Good girl, Sadie. Okay, now I'm going to give her the next lot of food because I feel like this is probably about 5 litres. And she gave it willingly. So we're going to reward that with a little bit more. How's this? Here. How's that, Sade? Good girl, Sadie. Good girl. Good girl, Sadie. Another good reason is that if you are raising a calf, like a heifer calf, that's going to be an eventual milker. From a very young age, you're teaching it a routine. You're teaching it a routine that in the morning it gets fed. They can also see their mum being milked, so I think that they see that and they also learn, oh, that's part of a process. It's nothing unfamiliar to them. They see their mum in a stall every morning and they become acutely aware of the fact that that's just life. There's nothing unusual about it to them. It's just part of life and part of the habit and routine. So yeah, let's let the calves out and see how we did, eh? It's possible that we will get more once the calves are out. You did so well today, Sadie. Good girl. Psychologically, another thing is if we open this, she can leave. She can choose to leave if she likes, and she's choosing to stay. It's easing up on her a lot easier. All right, let's take these babies out, hey? Good morning, babies. Yes, I know. You're very vocal, little boy. Hey, Bess. This is proof of the routine that they like. All right, sweetie. All right, sweets. Do you guys want to go see Mama? You want to go see Mama? Good babies. Ready? Here we go. Good babies. All right, now tuck this out the way. Keep it safe, and then we clean up all this poop. That's the hardest part about having them in a yard all day. It's the amount of poop. Let's check out these happy babies. Look at you. So they're very familiar with coming into this area. This is just going to become their normal. The reason that we're feeding her in here as well is and getting them fed in here is because psychologically we want her to realize that this is where you let down. So yeah, I'm going to get on with cleaning up poop. So a couple of other things that I wanted to comment about with calf sharing is, oh, here's little Bessie. Hey, little darling. Is that every animal that we have done this with, we didn't do it with Bonnie and her baby Woody, because when they got here, Woody was already too old and he was feral. He was very dangerous to be around, so I didn't want to get into that. But these guys are going to get super familiar with us. Like when they're in here, we touch them and they get used to all that. They get used to being around us. They get used to, okay, this is the routine. In the morning I get fed. So right now it's milk, but as they grow, it'll be calf pellets. It'll be, all the different things that they will get fed in their time. So, it's part of the routine, but also control. Like I get to handle them, make sure that they're quiet. They're not bothered by being around people at all. It's all very natural to them. So at the end of the day, it's a lot more gentle and more nice, and there's no stress involved. So we're trying to raise animals around here with no stress hormone. So we think that's important to us. We think that they produce better when they're not stressed. They are a calmer, quieter, more well-rounded animal. I think when they're not stressed, they also don't get illnesses. There's a lot of reasons. But yeah, so they're our main reasons for calf sharing. And because I am trying to create a herd of homestead quiet cows that I can on-sell to other homesteaders, because this part of the process is very daunting for most people, is handling such a large animal that can kick you and all that sort of stuff. And I figured, you know what, I did it. It's not enjoyable for the first few weeks, but that feeling of accomplishment and achievement, I achieved something. Like I created a bond with my cow, and they hear your voice and they come running and that sort of thing. So, just that tiny little barrier of having to quieten a cow is enough to put most people off doing it. So I figured, see a need, fill a need. If I can quiet cows to being homestead ready, then I can then on-sell them and bless other homesteads with a milk cow, especially here in Western Australia. There is very few house cows, and it just sort of died out. No one was doing it. So I thought, no, we need to go back to this way of life. I managed it really well with Deirdre. Bonnie was a lot harder because she was a lot older and had already traumas and whatnot, but I managed to do it, and very successfully. She's a beautiful cow with perfect habits, comes in every morning, still now, even though we've dried her off and we're waiting for her to have her baby. So, yeah, that's the plan. We want, and if we can do the calf share thing, then I can sell a cow-calf combo to a homesteader and take care of or remove any of the common risks with having a milk cow, like them getting mastitis, them holding milk back, not coming in to be milked. If you've got their calf locked up near the milking area, they hang around and they stay near their baby. And so in the morning when it's time to milk, you can very easily put them in the milking stand because they know that's the routine. Oh, I've got to give up the milk to get my baby. So there's some of the reasons. I'm sure I've forgotten some because I do. But there's some of the big reasons for us why we calf share. Now, also keep in mind what I said earlier. If you're taking more, as in the calves are obviously eating enough to raise 2 calves, and our family are taking milk prior, You will need to feed more. In my previous video, which I will link below, I did put in the ratios of what I'm feeding Sadie, and what I was feeding Bonnie too earlier. But yeah, that's about it. We have actually almost sold Bonnie. We've found a lovely homesteader not far from us who is looking for their own homestead cow, and we're just waiting for her to have her baby for her to be able to go, because one of the biggest reasons we would calf share is that you cannot keep a cow on their own. It is cruel and it is not fair. They're a herd animal. So by keeping that mum and that baby together, you have their little friend with them. If you were to then eat the baby because it became time, you would need to put that mama cow or that milk cow back into calf and have her have another calf. Hey, sweetie. How you doing? Yeah. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it helped. I know that there have been quite a few people. I'm on a House Cows of Australia page on Facebook. It's very handy. I don't know it all for definite, and I do rely on my cow experts, but also every cow's different. So having the House Cows page and a whole heap of really good experts and other homesteaders doing it is super beneficial. So I've called on that a lot of times, but I've noticed a lot of people on the House Cows page asking about calf share and how it works. You know, the other thing is, if you have a massive producer like this and you weren't, like we're supplying two homes, we're supplying Hunt and Gather because they own a share, and our home as well. But if we didn't need that much milk, the fact that we've got calves on there as well is perfect, because it means that we can milk every second day without her udder being in any danger of catching mastitis or anything like that. But if we didn't have that, we would have to milk every day, and then we'd have too much milk. So, you know, it causes us to have a more flexible homestead environment, and that is really beneficial. We're not a dairy, so, you know, if we've got too much milk, we can just go, you know what, let's just leave the calves on for a few days, fatten those buggers up with no risk to our cow. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Comment below with any questions or other hints, tips and tricks that you might have. We love hearing those. Or just say hi. We love that as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We are trying to reach a big goal so that I can stay on the homestead all the time and not have to do a second job. So that means lots of subscribers and lots of people watching our videos. The other big thing is that you can help us with sharing on your social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram and that sort of stuff. That would help us out as well. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this video. And until the next video, take care of each other and bye for now.